reason number one is to express themselves. You just have something in you that can't be quiet. That would be me. I like hiding in the back of the room and being unnoticed, but at some point I have to jump out and go, this is me! And it's inappropriate for me to say, everybody look at me, I'm pretty. So I tell stories about other things. Number two is to entertain people. And let's face it, all of you are here this weekend to be entertained. Nobody paid money because you want to attend an intellectual symposium on the merits of cross-cultural entertainment. You came to an anime con to have fun. Yeah. And so our biggest reason for telling stories is simply to entertain people. It started around campfires, in caves, while you're eating a brontosaurus. Okay, maybe not, but I still see those creationist posts on Facebook where they're showing the kids' homework or their test. Humans and dinosaurs lived at the same time, and they check, yes, and it's correct. And I want to laugh at that, but the truth is, for anybody who's ever met my mother-in-law, you're going to think, I made that joke at ASIN, and I actually brought my mother-in-law to the which is why I trained in martial arts. I have a big mouth and no filter. Right? Step number one, to express yourself. Step number two, to entertain people. And reason number three, steps. Reason number three is to educate people. Because it is important you learn something. Even if it's just that wearing a cosplay weapon this way and walking down the hallway is a bad idea. I mean, you should learn things, and storytelling should have a moral to it, like Aesop's fables. Yes. No matter how cool those are. If anybody remembers the Smothers Brothers, they did an album, Aesop's Fables, Our Way, and my dad made us listen to those when I was a kid to teach us about crying wolf. Mm-hmm. And if you've ever heard those kind of fables as told by two comedians, the moral lesson gets lost in the jokes and the silliness. But you know what? 40 years later, I still remember that story. And I know I'm not supposed to cry wolf unless one of the dogs is actually attacking me. And that happens.
Which is why you got a broken nose.
I know, right? I've had my nose broken 4 times, and the last time my dog broke my nose. He was with... Well, I don't stick my nose in other people's business. It just gets broken by elbows, and I mean, I was wearing a Superman cape once and jumped off the dresser onto a coffee table. That was the first time I broke my nose. I would like to introduce you at this point to 2 authors, both published. Immediately to my left, this is Jennifer Seitz. She has kindly volunteered to come in and share. This is going to be a terrible pun, but it's your fault. Her insights with us on writing.
Wow. I'm leaving now, sorry.
Not a lot of insight.
Oh.
And you laughed at that? You've been off your meds for 2 days now, haven't you? The end of the table is Morgan Strawn.
Yes, you got it.
Comneck. She writes fluffy stuff. So I put her as
Fluffy?
But it's cute murder. I mean, it's like bunny rabbit murder.
Oh, well, that's ridiculous.
Yes.
Oh.
But they're going to share insights with you too. Why do you write?
To tell stories and entertain. I have stories in my head that need to come out and be told. Because I'm entertaining you.
Yes, exactly. She got all 3 of mine.
Nice. She's smart.
No, she agreed to come to this panel. Morgan, why do you tell stories other than, that was part of your release agreement?
I write to express myself because when I was a kid, and I'll show you an example, I can even talk like that. I'm breathing your, I'm so sorry, I'm breathing your air. Oh my gosh, I was that shy. So I could write to express myself.
I don't believe
Thank
it.
you.
See, Morgan has enthusiasm, but like most of my zombies, she's falling apart. Okay, the first thing about storytelling, whether you're writing a book, whether you're in a play or a TV show, A good story has at its core amazing characters. Doesn't matter how awesome the setting is. You can shoot a movie in New Zealand and go with these huge waterfalls and amazing backdrops. But if your characters are lame, so is your show. Because otherwise what you have is a National Geographic special about New Zealand. So this section is about character creation. Morgan, did I have you starting that part?
Yes, you
Okay.
did. All right, I want to ask first, how many of you are cosplaying as a character from anything, or have cosplayed as a character for anything? I am cosplaying as Hungry from Italia. Thank you. Woo, cosplay. All right. Woo. Has anybody ever cosplayed as a setting?
As a what?
As a setting?
No.
No, there you go. That tells you how important characterization is. Okay, we quote the characters. I've never quoted the Castle of Hyrule, mostly because it doesn't talk, but that's how important the characters are. They teach us life lessons, like Dan talked about. And like I said, we just want to be awesome and cosplay as the characters. And you have gamers in here? Any gamers?
Woo.
How many of you spent hours wasting your time making a perfect game character? Yeah. Do you spend that much time making a setting? Usually not, no, unless you're like my friend Evan who makes hit Smash Brother levels. That are over and a half.
Booker and a half. That's your visual image?
No.
For the next 15 minutes, all of you will be thinking about Morgan's character picking her nose.
My character does say holy snot, Batman.
I'm sensing a theme,
No.
an obsession maybe?
No.
Okay.
And I know for me, I make characters who are very well-rounded because I want to relate to the character. Because let's face it, if you have a character you can't relate to at all, the story's just not as intriguing. It's hard to see what they're going through their eyes. They don't have to be perfect. Like I brought one of my favorite animes. I brought Sailor Moon. Now I am not short and blonde and a crybaby and a bad student like Usagi is, but Usagi likes manga and animes. Guess what? I like manga and video games. So I can relate to her, even though I don't have every single trait she does. So a character needs to be well-rounded and relatable. Is that...
She brought props.
I did.
All we brought was caffeine.
That's important too. Yeah.
It is, but we didn't bring enough to share.
How could you? No, I don't share my caffeine, sorry.
That's my first one is relatable. My second one is to have a strong sense of self. I hate wishy-washy characters that don't know who they are. And characters are supposed to change and develop. But at the core, they know who they are. Like my character, Starry, even though she has to deal with a murder, which is something that at 15 you don't figure out to deal with, she's still an otaku at heart.
If you're lucky.
If you're lucky, yeah. She's still an otaku and a sweet girl at heart. She doesn't lose that, even though she's chasing murderers and seeing ghosts and floating in the air and stuff.